Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome. My name is Esther. I don't even know where to start really. Most of you don't know me, so welcome to my channel. I started doing videos, around COVID time, and then I stopped because I just didn't really think that the space was really for me. I've always felt like I am a bit of an imposter in the fitness industry. Not necessarily because I don't know what I'm talking about, but because I more like to do things rather than talk about them. And I don't really think that people know that about me because I think because I can be quite loud, and when you talk to me person to person, I am really loud. I just like to talk, but I actually feel more comfortable doing things than talking about them. This year I thought, let's try a different route because I have not been in the best part of my life in the last 1.5 years. It was quite a hard year, and I would say that I haven't really experienced something like this since high school, where I was put in a situation where I really didn't fit and it just didn't vibe with me, and it turned me into a not very nice side of me and not really nice person. I've definitely found out over time, going in and out of many different lives, that I'm deeply, deeply affected by the situations around me. I don't like admitting that. I don't like how weak that makes me sound or feel. Um, but if I'm in a place that just doesn't fit my moral compass or deeply who I am, I just end up becoming a bitch. And I don't know why. It really brings out the worst in me. And I think some people will be like, oh, yeah, but that's just really, you're not taking responsibility. I am. After I came out of situations that I've resurfaced and recovered and realized what I've been doing, I rang the people I was a bitch to and said sorry to them. Is that taking responsibility? Yes, it is. I had some really deeply humbling moments. And the more that I tell the story, I think you'll realize why. It all started with birth control. Oh, birth control is just one of those monsters that you don't necessarily understand what it's doing to you until it's too late. And then because you're not in your right mind and you're not yourself, you start making decisions that don't match up with who you really are and what you really feel, because it's like someone else has hijacked your nervous system or hijacked your brain and is making decisions for you, and then you end up in the completely wrong place with the wrong people and you're just miserable. This is, anyway, my story. So I went off the copper coil and I went on to birth control, and I just started getting more and more agitated and angry, and I started alienating myself from people. There were some particular people that, I don't know, just their presence just drove me up the wall for some reason. Lovely people, to be fair. There was nothing wrong with them. It was just that some things about them would just make me really annoyed, and it would make me really lash out at them. And it was something uncontrollable that I just couldn't. It really turned me into a person that I did not like. It got so bad that I couldn't stop how I was acting because it just would happen and I wouldn't be able to control it. And then afterwards, I started getting really, really, really anxious because I didn't want to put myself in those situations where I would then act like that and I couldn't control it. And I just I got really bad social anxiety. I started not wanting to talk to people. I started closing in on myself. I started having panic attacks before I left the house. It was insane. I don't know how to explain it, but it's crazy. And again, this happened to me in high school on birth control. So it just really affects me in this way. I went off the birth control, I took the implant out, and then I went on to just pills. And most of the effects subsided. Most of them subsided. Thank goodness. I had this feeling just one day, it was like surfacing from water. It was like I was drowning in all these feelings and I was acting out and I couldn't control it. And then I was feeling depressed and anxious and really disappointed in myself because I was like, why did I act like that? I have no idea why I would do such things. And then suddenly it was like I surfaced from water and I could control most of my ability on how I acted towards people. Suddenly, when I was in the room with certain people, again, I didn't have that visceral reaction where I just had disgust or that I just straight away had a very negative reaction emotionally to them. It was suddenly like I was clear, but I still had the deep anxiety because obviously I had been acting in a way where it just wasn't how I would want to act to other people and how I would want to be perceived. So that was quite a hard thing for me at that time, still dealing with this anxiety, but still on birth control. Then after that, it got to about, I moved to London, had like a really interesting career move. I went from fitness to then corporate 5-star luxury, another world for a short stint. And that was eye-opening. It was okay on the birth control. I still had, even though on the day-to-day I could control how I acted towards people, I still was on high alert constantly of danger. To this day, I'm not sure whether it was because of just the pace of London. If you've lived in London, you know what I'm talking about. It's like 5 months is like 3 years. I was there for 5-6 months maybe, and I felt like I lived for 3 years. Whether just how many people are there, that could be also a thing. The cost of living is insane. And just seeing constantly people being deprived on a day-to-day basis, that deeply affected me. And I'm not sure whether it was just because that was just me or whether it was also a little bit of residue still from being absolutely attacked by my hormones mentally and physically. So we did that. We had a short stint. We thought we could be a boss bitch, but then we just realized, maybe this life isn't actually for me. It's a pretty cool life to live in. It's pretty exciting. But actually, if I was looking at my health, my sleep, my skin, my gut, I was constantly getting allergic reactions everywhere. There were some very, very, very big signs telling me, no, this is not the direction in life that you're meant to be going in. This is not healthy for you, and this is still not really with your moral compass, and it's not really with the situation that you kind of want to be in for the rest of your life. So we moved up north in England to a small town, and I thought everything was going to settle down. I then started getting extreme anxiety. Like as soon as I got here, it was insane. I started getting restless leg syndrome. I had to go walking at 3 o'clock in the morning because it was painful. I could not move. It was just, if you've had restless leg syndrome, which is quite common in females, you know what I'm talking about. And it was then that I realized that when I was in the Netherlands, when I got my birth control pill, going back to birth control, I had a very specific birth control that they said was really good, and it had worked on people who had had my type of reactions with synthetic hormones being put in your body. And within the Netherlands, that pill was made by a specific company, and it was all right. But then when I was in London, I ran out of that specific pill and I couldn't get that specific brand in England. So I asked the doctor, I brought in the pills and I said, this is what it's made out of, the percentage of this and this. And they said, oh yes, we have this pill. It's made by a different company, but it's exactly the same. So I started taking that pill and some of my insane symptoms started coming back, which makes no sense at all, because if it was exactly the same ingredients in both pills, but one wasn't causing me drastic mental, emotional pain, and the other one was, that's not the same pill, is it? That's not the same pill. It's not the same pill. Just saying. So we then went straight off birth control. My restless leg syndrome went away. My anxiety went away. So many problems went away. It was just insane. Again, it was like a breath of fresh air, but this time it was like surfacing again another level into myself. Whereas before I just got rid of all those, when I got rid of my implant, it was like I was able to control my emotions and how I was acting. And now this time surfacing, it was like shedding skin, and I no longer was an anxious mess of a person. So that was the 1.5 years of just absolutely going through the shit. Absolutely going through the shitter, and just having a really, really bad experience in emotions and control and health. I think when people talk about health and mental health and fitness in this industry, they always just talk about one situation, and I find that that doesn't necessarily work, because I feel like it is literally all encompassing. Health is how you feel in your gut. It's how you feel when you go to sleep at night. It's how you feel when you're talking to your friends. It's how happy you wake up in the morning. It's how your body reacts to different situations, whether does it kick into gear, or can you do physical things when you need to? Is it going to be that when you're 70 that you can do everything that you want to do? You know what I mean? It's all encompassing. It's not just health and fitness and mental health as well. It's not just a now thing. It's a life thing. It's a figuring out the steps and what works for you to help with your life to make it better. And I think recently I have come to the position where I needed to make a lot of very drastic decisions to be able to protect my health. Which protection of health is just such a weird concept. Why do we have to protect our health? Like, why is it even in question that we have to protect something that should already naturally be there in general? Like, I eat salads from the supermarket, I don't eat bad foods. I eat salads and nutrition. I try and meditate. I try and get as much sun and vitamin D. I take supplements and everything. But why is that not enough? Why is it suddenly that if I go on birth control that I have to protect something so drastically basic as my mental health? Even to the point of when I'm upset, I found out that I couldn't do fitness. So one thing gets knocked over as a domino effect, and then suddenly everything else that's all encompassing in health just goes out the window. And I've recently only just been able to pick up the pieces. I've only recently just found my love for fitness again and going out and doing things. I've only just been able to fully engage with friendships without having to block off parts of myself because I want to protect what that person thinks of me. I don't want them to think that I'm too negative or too upset, or I don't want to be offloading on them. It's been really hard the last year to be a person, to be a living person in this world. I only want to put out happiness, and I want to love the people I want to love. I want to do the things that make me feel good. But as soon as one domino, and it doesn't matter what, because everybody's single domino is, yeah, it's each to their own, you know what I mean? It's not one person has the base, that's what I'm trying to say. Well, mine definitely was how my mental health was going and how my hormones are in balance now. They weren't before, but now they're in balance, and it makes me feel better. It makes everything in life feel better. It makes my relationships richer, and it makes me want to do things that are fun. So that's pretty much what's been going on, just to update you. I know it's been a little bit of a waffle. You're going to get a lot from me from this. This is definitely only going to reach a certain crowd of people who, respect me just honestly talking and honestly relating to you. And I hope that this video finds those people who appreciate this honesty and openness. And if you like this, please like and subscribe, and I will make more videos just telling you honestly how everything has been so far in my life. Because boy, have we had a lot of lives. I'm not a person who normally sits down and just goes through the flow. No, we've been through a lot of lives, and I would love to share those lives with you and see what you think about, see how you can relate to them. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.